Hi everybody. Today in this video I'm going to talk about 5 Bulgarian cities. These are cities I've been to or lived in, and I just wanted to give you a taste of Bulgaria through its cities. And I'm going to talk about big cities, medium-sized cities and smaller cities, so you really get a kind of a taste of Bulgaria. The smallest cities I'm going to talk about are actually resorts, so it's really not a typical Bulgarian town, but still, I think it'll give you some interesting kind of information. So I'm from Sofia, the capital, so city number one, Sofia. It's obviously the biggest city in Bulgaria. I think approximately 20% of the GDP of Bulgaria is produced in Sofia, so it's very strongly economically. Um, I think the unemployment rate last time I checked was probably like 4% maybe. It's very low, so it's typically better than most other parts of Bulgaria there. I would compare it to the Sofia is kind of the Beijing of Bulgaria. It's really everything is very concentrated there. A lot of the economic activity, all the political institutions, a lot of the big museums, a lot of the big universities, um, all the law kind of major institutions, all the major banks, a lot of the foreign companies. So it's really uh, there's a big concentration of all of these things there. And a lot of the embassies and consulates are there and so on. So there's a lot of this there. um, there are two major areas in Sofia. One is the downtown area, and the other one is pretty much all the neighborhoods around. It's very different if you live in downtown versus the neighborhoods. Um, the downtown area is very urban, whereas the neighborhoods are, have infrastructure, but they're kind of more residential. So I would highly recommend that you visit Sofia when you go to Bulgaria, because it's the heart of the country. I mean, it's that's where things are happening, and also if you don't visit it, you have a completely different impression of Bulgaria. So you know I've seen some videos where people didn't visit the capital, and the things they say is completely not true. If you're from Sofia, you feel like they really didn't see anything, because in Sofia everything is much more different than many parts of Bulgaria. Okay, the second city I'm going to talk about is Blagoevgrad. Blagoevgrad is a city in the southwest of Bulgaria, in the region of Macedonia. I went to school there, to the American University in Bulgaria, and the city is last time I checked, was about 75,000 people or so. So it's much smaller than Sofia, obviously, or other big cities. Um, it's the downtown area is very convenient. You can walk everywhere. In the downtown is very safe. There's all kinds of restaurant options, cafes. The climate is milder there than compared to the northern part of Bulgaria. Although it snows there too, it's not as much as in Sofia or other cities in the north. There's a big student population. There's another major university there, the Southwestern University. So there's thousands of students there. I wouldn't advise you to do things there very late at night, especially like after 2 a.m. I've when I was there, you know, there was nobody really tried to do anything to me, but there were like people trying to threaten me like very late at night, especially if I walked in a kind of very remote neighborhood where one of the dorms was. Um, and I've heard stories of other people kind of being beaten or robbed like very late at night. Um, it I don't think it happens very often, but it does happen. Um, and this is true of anywhere really in Bulgaria, probably in big cities. You know, try to be cautious, especially very early morning, like very late at night. Um, Other than that, you know, it's a very pleasant city. The you know, people from Republic of Macedonia think they're Macedonians living in Bulgaria, which is kind of funny because in that region, which is part of Macedonia, they in the region of Macedonia, the only noticeable difference I notice when they speak Bulgarian is they say ke instead of šte, which means will. I will do something or I will go somewhere. Maybe there's one or two other words that are a little bit different than standard Bulgarian, but everything else is they speak absolutely standard fluent Bulgarian. So if you haven't been to that area, you might wonder, you know, are they different? How do they speak or whatever? But actually, they're Bulgarian for sure. The number 3 city I want to talk about is Burgas. Burgas is on the Black Sea. It's the 4th biggest city in Bulgaria. I really liked it when I went there. It was a little bit smaller than I thought it would be, but it's very nice. It's cleaner than Sofia, I thought. Although Sofia has made a lot of progress recently, it's much cleaner than before. But it has a very nice downtown walkable area also, which is actually very typical of a Bulgarian city. It's one of the really good things about Bulgarian cities, and it's cleaner, and the city has an amazing beach. You know, it's really nice. You feel like you're in a resort when you're there. Also, they have the sea garden. Morska Gradina in Bulgarian. It's a really nice park just next to the Black Sea. It's world class, I thought. I mean, it looks really nice. They have many attractions there. They have a theater. I believe they have a casino and other attractions during the summer, especially. That whole place, you know, really is a happening place in Burgas. And you know, they have nice restaurants and cafes in the downtown area. Everything is very walkable, and check it out. The 4th city I'm going to talk about is Słonchev Bryag, Sunny Beach. Sunny Beach is the number 1, the biggest, I should say, summer resort in Bulgaria. It's huge. I think in the summer months it becomes like a few 100,000 people from like probably 10,000 or something like that, or much less during the other months. It's good and bad. The good part is actually the nature. You know, the beach is probably the number 1 beach in Bulgaria, at least that I've seen or remember. Of course, there's some other resorts up in the north like Albena and Zlatni Piaseci, Golden Sands is really good too. But the beach is world class. I thought it's probably better than Miami Beach's beach. You know, it's really wide, it's very long. I think including the neighboring resorts, the beach is probably, I forgot, 11 kilometers or 15 kilometers, like something like you know, like maybe close to 10 miles. It's amazing. The bad thing about that place is it's not authentic Bulgarian. There's probably 95% of the people there are foreigners, the tourists. probably it's pricier than other parts of the Black Sea, and you know, you can't really find a lot of the things are not in Bulgarian, so everything's like very touristy. And what else? It's like a typical international kind of touristy resort with all the activities there. They have a lot of very nice hotels, and one thing I should mention though is the you know, Bulgaria has a kind of a mafia type of organization, and some of these people that are from there own some of the properties there. Actually, there's probably some of the nicer hotels. So I personally would not stay at one of these properties if I know it's owned by some shady businessman. Probably for the foreigners, they wouldn't be aware of that. But I think there might be some websites out there mentioning which properties are owned by who and stuff like this. Probably for the average foreigner, they would not know or they would not care. But if you want to support like Bulgarian, like true hotel owners and people trying to make decent living, you know, try to stay at family hotels or resorts or whatever, don't stay at the properties owned by the mafia or like shady people. The last city I'm gonna talk about is Sozopol. Sozopol is a very cute Bulgarian resort on the Black Sea. It's very authentic. It's very cultured. A lot of very famous Bulgarian musicians and artists go there to either work or stay. It has a very authentic downtown area and old town, which is kind of traditional Bulgarian, but it's a little bit different because it's on the Black Sea. And so the architecture is kind of very unique. It has like the bottom of the houses looks it's made out of stone, and then the top is made out of wood. Some of them are kind of black wood, so it's kind of very interesting to see and experience. They have a lot of traditional Bulgarian restaurants there. I thought, you know, everything looks very unique. Of course, as a resort, it's very touristy kind of in a way, but it's kind of touristy in a good way. You know, everything is very clean and organized, and people really put the time to preserve the buildings and offer like a good experience, unique experience in their houses. There's restaurants in the actual like traditional houses, and I think you probably can stay in some of them also. They're like small hotels. The beach is all right. I wouldn't say it's the best beach I've seen, but it's doable. I mean, if you compare it to like world beaches, you know, it's probably like comparable to other beaches. But for Bulgaria, you know, Bulgaria has a very beautiful nature. Maybe for Bulgaria it's not so good compared to other resorts, but the water in both Sunny Beach and Sozopol is warm. It's very comfortable. Black Sea water is kind of bluish, greenish, and it has like a very unique smell. I think there's a lot of seaweed. That's maybe where the green color is coming from a little bit. So you feel like very refreshed. You feel like you know, you're like you know, your body's being healed by the water, and the weather is great, and there's a lot of they even have restaurants right at the beach and bars and things like that. So everything's convenient and good. All right, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.